Hola amigos, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I'm in Mexico right now. Mrs. Sujano and I are visiting just for a little bit and, well, trying to enjoy ourselves and also do quite a bit of stuff. Now, I am on my morning walk. It's pretty early out and, well, it's absolutely gorgeous here. I'm a massive fan of Mexico, their food, their culture, everything about this country. It's amazing, and well, let's talk about some news, because I've got some amazing news to talk about, and some not so amazing news. So first up on the docket here, we're talking about Terraria. Now, Terraria is in line for a very big update, and the developer, in my opinion, is doing things right. He says in the update that they're not going to be pushing the development team in order to get this thing out. They're doing it right and they're doing it well. So the developer says the work on the final lists from each dev member is nearing its conclusion, which is a great measure of progress. That said, we are pretty certain there is no way we will see Terraria 1.4.5 released this year. To make a long story short, end of year releases, especially if you're trying to sync launch across PC, mobile, console, and do so globally at the same time, are fraught with peril due to review cycles, people leaving early for the holidays, etc. I think you can maybe see where this is going. Anyways, they go on to say here, the hope is that we would be able to get things in ahead of that year-end mess, but that isn't looking to be the case. We are also not going to force anyone on our team or anyone else's team to crunch for what would be an arbitrary deadline. So that said, the next Terraria update is moving along into 2025. Now, I don't know about you, but I take quality over quantity any day of the week. I think I've been pretty vocal about that in my videos here. I'd rather the developers take their time and cook and release something amazing as opposed to something rushed and broken. Anyways, here the development studio seems to be of the same mindset. They say here, but we remain committed to being a quality first studio, so we will take the time necessary for each update to feel just right. And we think that once the update is out, everyone will appreciate that time and care. Well, I couldn't say it better. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I mean, Terraria is having a pretty big update coming out, and they do have a pretty big collaboration with Palworld. And speaking about developers, next up we're talking about developers of Final Vendetta. So this is a quote from a completely different developer here, but they say, just want to quickly highlight an absolutely shameful Steam forums thread of people bullying devs into adding continues into one of the most beginner-friendly beat-em-ups ever made. It goes to show how difficult development can be, I guess, to get things just right. I mean, this may be of mixed opinions here, but Final Vendetta I find is, well, it's difficult, but in the way that games used to be difficult, arcade games, and I think that was the design of the game overall. Anyways, here the modern view of games is not like it used to be. So there was a post over on the Steam communities for this game back in June of 2022, so a while back. And it's titled, Add Continues Please. Got done reading like 5 full pro reviews and they all complained about the same thing, the high difficulty which is exacerbated by having no continues. Easy mode should be accessible to everyone, but sounds like it's far from the case here. 7 lives, 6 stages, good luck. So you can die 1 time per level to beat it. Now the obvious and probably default response to something like this is, well, get good. Anyways, the developer did add continues, and the game rating for this game has gone down. Now, it's not like there's a whole bunch of game ratings for Final Vendetta in the first place, but at the same time here for the reviews, it's got very positive for all time and then mixed for recently, so the reviews have gone down. And taking a look, it seems like some of the negative reviews are still complaining about the difficulty. I'm not joking with you here, I'll read some of these new negative reviews. I was excited to try a new beat 'em up from the British developer Bitmap Bureau. After about 2 hours of playtime, I unfortunately was left frustrated and underwhelmed. The difficulty ramps up significantly at stage 2, where every death feels cheap and unfair. It sucks out all the fun. This person says, I don't understand difficulty in this game. In easy, you can face roll through it. In normal, every enemy spams cheap tricks and you have no continues, WTF. And this person here says, and the difficulty curve, easy difficulty. You're a bulldozer with 9 lives, which you probably won't even need. But if you play on hard, there's no middle here, then you are a punching bag. So it seems like there's a pretty steep learning curve to this game, and well, the developer made easy mode even easier, and people are still complaining, and then people are complaining about the skill gap between easy and difficult. Now, I've played Final Vendetta, and I will say the gameplay here isn't necessarily perfect. It's not a perfect game, it's an interesting indie game, and there are only 6 levels to it. And I think if you make the game too easy, then you can plow through those 6 levels pretty quickly, and then the game feels very thin. I thought the original approach made sense for a game like this, but I mean, at the same time here, you can't make everybody happy. And in trying to make everybody happy by adding in continues and stuff like that, it seems to make more people unhappy. So I'm not quite sure what is going on here. This is a very interesting developer case, and let me know your thoughts about the whole thing in the comments below. I mean, do you think the developer did things right by adding in continues and listening to fans? Or do you think they did a disservice to their game by adding in that stuff and making it easier and then introducing even more complaints? It's a very weird situation. Just wanted to take a quick break before going to our next segment to take a look at this sunrise. Today looks like it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day. I don't know if you can see them in the camera here, but in real life I can see some real nice sun rays coming down. And I think that's Cozumel, if I'm not mistaken, across the way. But moving on, and next up we're talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation with Panda3DS. And Panda3DS is an up-and-coming 3DS emulator. It's getting better and better. And it appears here that the desktop UI is getting a little bit of a glow-up. So they've just teased it over on Twitter. I'll drop a link in the description below, and feel free to check it out. And again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. And speaking about glow-ups, next up we're talking about Atari Jaguar emulation with BigPEmu. And in my opinion, this is very big news for this emulator. BigPEmu is headed to Steam. I'm not joking with you. So Rich Whitehouse, the main developer behind BigPEmu, says, "I'm gonna start on BigPEmu Steam integration soon. Not gonna sell it on there. That would be silly since the PC ports are free." Now Rich announced this one over on Discord, and he does say, so if anyone wants to participate in testing multiplayer stuff on Steam with me once it's up and running, let me know. I'd like to get a big multiplayer game of AVP co-op going and see how it holds up to the strain. If I don't have enough people by the time it's ready, I may resort to the forbidden add everyone ping. So if you've got Discord, if you're interested in Atari Jaguar emulation, you may want to check out BigPEmu's Discord. Now unfortunately, I don't have a release date or anything for you about that just yet. However, my advice here again is don't rush the developers. Rich has done some amazing things with BigPEmu, at least in my opinion, and he continues to make it even better. I'm assuming the Steam implementation is going to be pretty sweet, but we'll have to wait and see. And speaking about emulation, next up here we're talking about GameCube and Wii emulation with Dolphin. And Dolphin has just released their progress report for stuff they've been up to for the last while. And they've been up to quite a bit here. Now this report is pretty massive. It gets highly technical, and if you wanted to check it out again, like everything I talk about, link is in the description below. There is quite a bit here. There's a whole bunch of audio fixes, a whole bunch of accuracy improvements, and even more. In my opinion here, and it's probably a very popular opinion, Dolphin is already in a pretty good state overall, but that doesn't mean things behind the scenes can't be fixed up and polished up. I mean, there's a lot in here. It's very highly technical, but I mean, at the same time here, just some of the stuff, even debugging stuff they've been working on. The development team has been extremely busy. One of the changes in here, for example, is fixing Wii Remote audio in multiple games. So stuff like Excite Truck, Ice Age 2, Shrek the Third, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07, WarioWare Smooth Moves, and even more have been fixed now. So hat tip to the Dolphin development team for putting together a lot of changes over the last while, and hopefully Dolphin continues to improve and grow. Next up here, I'm talking about a couple of game mods or ROM hacks, and the first one is for NHL 07 on the PSP. Now, if you're still playing this game and you are ever interested in possibly updating the roster to something a little bit more recent, you may want to pay attention to a link in the description below, because there's a tweet there that talks about just that. Apparently, someone has updated the roster to 2025. The second ROM hack here is for New Super Luigi U, and it's Luigi's Lost Levels. They say here that the game is a one world long mod that adds 8 levels to play through, building off the base of the Wii U version of New Super Luigi U. So let me know your thoughts about these in the comments below. Next up here, if you're a fan of NASCAR games, you're probably not going to like this news. You're really not going to like this news if you wanted to buy a NASCAR game in the near future. They say here, from December 31st, 2024, all NASCAR game titles and their DLC content will no longer be available for purchase on all digital storefronts, but will remain available to play. Now, by all NASCAR games, I really think they mean all NASCAR games. NASCAR Heat, NASCAR Rivals, and NASCAR Ignition franchises will no longer be available for purchase. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. My experience with a lot of these NASCAR games has not necessarily been positive, I'll say. I think they could use a little bit more polish, but I mean, at the same time here, delisting them is, well, it's a loss for anyone looking into getting into NASCAR games. Now, as for the reason they're being delisted, the whole reason here, from my understanding, is that Motorsport Games no longer has the license to sell them, so it seems pretty simple. And last up here, if you're interested in NZXT, you may not like this news here. It is worth checking out. It's from Gamers Nexus. And this video is an hour and 6 minutes long. It's titled, "Do Not Buy NZXT, Predatory Evil Rental Computer Scam Investigated." Now, from my understanding, NZXT used to be a big sponsor over on Gamers Nexus, and it turns out that Gamers Nexus turned down something like $23,000 for 4 months worth of advertisement. I mean, add that up over the year, and that's a lot of money they've turned down. In my opinion, the video right now is popping off. I mean, it's been out for a day and already has over 1.3 million views. I think this is going to have big repercussions for NZXT's reputation moving forward. I could be wrong, but I don't think so based on all of the information that Gamers Nexus is posting. Now, if you've seen the video, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts about NZXT, and let me know if you think this video is going to have a big impact on the company. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Well, maybe there's a fluff right down here. We'll see if we can get them. Okay, so one fluff. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.